podcast brought to you by the Fifth Dimension. As you can see, I've not gone anywhere, still here, going to be here for quite some time, here to unravel realities. Do the best we can. This one might be kind of a short segment. I've been doing a lot of stuff recently. Every once in a while I gotta wind it down. And it's been heavy recently. I don't always understand what's going on. But sometimes it's good to slow her down and then get back up there. So if you don't get anything new out of this, you never know. You never know. So Yahyel release. Now I just uploaded with Neutron, and I'm going to have another connection next Friday too, and maybe the Friday after that too. I didn't do the live I forgot, but doesn't matter. Yeah, because they're uploading right next to each other, so maybe it's better either way. Yahyel release, and this went into the radio show too to get a bit more detail. It is in the beginning of it. What I picked up on the Yahyel, and we'll go kind of expand on a little bit more, and anything else I can connect to it, then we're going to expand to other directions here. With some of the Yahyel, according to the radio show, this is in a parallel timeline, wherever it is. Basically, I saw a Yahyel world being destroyed, and these Yahyel beings were very not good at all. And they come from this world, possibility. I did see some energies from this planet there, from some spiritual leaders that are here, that they can do anything or are more powerful than anyone. So putting that out there, somebody need to be careful of their egos, let's put it that way. So some of these worlds had to be shut down because and I realized a lot of these people were very I had good intentions in the beginning, and it became very dark, and I felt myself involved with destroying their planet. I had no choice. Of course, there was warnings put out, and many were saying, you will never do this, you can't do this, and then boom, is what I got from that. That's not something you really, and as this happened in parallel life, highly likely anything is possible. I thought it was a past life. I don't know where it was. I thought I didn't really connect that deeply into it. I also picked up on reptilian worlds too, where somewhat the same situation. Basically, beings that were very manipulative, very powerful. In the radio show, we talked about Joel Osteen. I brought his energies came up, how he's very manipulative. Joel Osteen's a preacher. So I'm not sure if he's part of that reptilian world, but there's some scaly energies there. Now, like the reptilians, for the most part, this didn't come in through the radio show, but many of them are like the lizard people. They're very just kind, hang out with you, no complications, cool beings to be around. And then you connect to like a crocodile or a alligator type of reptilian. Of course, there's a lot of other connections there. That can be kind of rough around the edges, depending, but not always. Some that can be very kind, of course. And the same to do with the snake energy. Snakes can be very kind. Some of them can be very subjective. Yeah, same situation there. So you get to the cobra, you get to more in the military family, etc., etc. So more aggressive, more. So yeah. For most reptilians, I believe, are actually very kind species. Not to kiss their ass, but just to put that out there. Because people are very, some are very just, if you look at our reptiles on this planet, it's very similar to the reptilian beings that you connect to. Some are very they're just kind and mellowed out. It's no big deal. And then you have other reptilians that are very aggressive. And some are like beyond, like a dinosaur type of being, yeah. Very vicious. If they need to be, at least, so. Just like humans, but with a reptilian exterior. But for the Yahyel beings, I figure what I picked up is these are a lot more vicious than any Nordic being. What happens is they're just very seductive. And not to say all of them are like that. Of course, my video's not all. It's yeah, no surprise there. Yeah, they probably don't like having this out there, but it's tough. Because some of them are here right now in human form that are in the spiritual realms that don't realize it. Because sometimes they feel like they're always right. And sometimes when you think you're always right, it goes into an area that's not always good for others. Some get pulled into it. And that's where the spiritual groups can get kind of out of control. Sometimes being independent is a good thing. Sometimes when you have a group, it can get kind of toxic at times. Not always, but sometimes it can. It's different vibrations there. You can still be in a group and be independent. Because some groups turn into high minds. And some of these high minds can be very controlling and manipulative, depending on the being. So you gotta be careful of that. It's all part of the experience, but what I picked up on, I was surprised to pick up on these Yahyel beings like this. I was not looking for it. It sort of just showed up. So the other thing it came up in the radio show that I picked up before also about Orion beings are incarnating through Saturn into the banking systems on our planet and religious energies too. Some of it's Jewish, not all of it is. Some of it is because that's the most influence. It's easier to connect to because of the family lines are already built, so we're just reincarnated into that. It just makes it easier. And that doesn't mean it's all bad. Even in the banking system, does not always mean it's bad. It's positive and negative to everything. Some of it does go into government through the Saturn. The Saturn just had a contract with us in the beginning, so we can learn through them. We're also helping them through a lot of their ordeals too. So a lot of souls, obviously, you can tell, incarnated here. Just, well, they have free will here, so they brought in a lot of beings that they thought were going to help them out, and ended up not helping them at all. Sometimes they grow up. Some, I believe, yeah, some children can use their powers that be for their parents to have another kid, or mother to find another parent, or whatever, another spouse. So there are cases like that where some kids like, I want a brother or sister. Some have enough power to make it happen. You'd be surprised. That one came out of nowhere, but I'm not surprised with that. Some are very, energy-wise. So yeah, how this information, yeah, that was another thing that came through. We're going to talk about the radio show a lot because it's a lot of stuff came through that. About. Of course, now the thought just left my mind. Thank you for whoever did that. Jeez, nice. Thank you. Anybody else? Anything else? Should I read the Bible to get my brain working? Would that make you happy? Gee, it really took that out of my mind. You just did just like that. Jeez, I guess I'm on to something. What I was getting to, I think it's sort of coming back, yeah, souls, people here are just having a download out of nowhere and having their awakening publicly, possibly. Might be a YouTuber, might be somebody on People Magazine, whoever. Randomly, this is going to start to awaken. It's just people are just going to start looking at things differently. And I don't know why, but they feel better. It depends. Well, you might not feel better at first. And then, well, if you're in this situation, I'll feel better ever. Because it's like, you feel good, but you don't feel good. It's like, you feel okay, but you don't feel okay. And maybe you're better off being a race car driver or something like that. That's normal. But yeah, little by little, people are going to start awakening, which would be quite fascinating to see. So maybe by the end of this year, I know we just entered this year, but maybe by the end of this year, more people that have a following that normally awaken to this stuff will start to, light bulb will come off. Just looking at things differently. Not to say there's a right or a wrong or whatever it is, just looking at life differently. It's like, maybe I should, yeah. Roseanne Arnold, whatever the hell her name is, the show Roseanne. She is an Anunnaki being. I got that message before I got here. What she connected. She is one of jokes, politics. She's one of everything. So yeah, she likes to put her knowledge out there for others. She does like to make it wild for people. She likes to be a wild child. Of course, on this one, it's worked out for her, and recently has not worked out for her. Part of it was to shut her up, because I think she was getting to an area where she was getting kind of dangerous in some ways, meaning she was maybe, I feel like the higher wits kind of wanted her to shut down, because she's actually connected to, I think there's a lot going on around her that they don't want her to be. It's kind of like to put her on the public stage to shut her down in some ways. Like, oh, she's just a crazy person, because I think she's more awake than she might realize. I think she already knows that, but I think there's a lot more to her than she realized. Well, either way, I think they wanted to put a mute button on her. I think that's what that was all about. Yeah, because I think waking people maybe too soon. I mean, she doesn't want to just say anything, which is good. But, you know, I mean, we're living in a weird time where you can, you know, in the past you could say these things and get away with it. Nowadays, it's like you say anything, it comes back to you. So it's like, you know, a joke is a joke, even if it is not exactly the best. We're getting into a weird time. We can't say. Yeah, it's very strange now. It's part of the awakening. We're trying to figure ourselves out. And when trying to figure yourself out, people are trying to figure out their genders, trying to figure out, nothing makes sense, even job situations. It's like, I want to do my job, but I want to do it for work for free, and I want to accept money, but I do want to survive. Is there a better way to survive? Our work ethic eventually will shift. We got a while for that one. Where people are, like when you channel with aliens, it's like they work because they want to do it. Of course, everyone's fed and taken care of. That would be a major evolution here. We're technically doing that through the welfare system, but there are better ways of going about it. We got ways to get there, but as we upgrade our conscience, it's just going to be growing pains that are going to be hard here, but either way, it's hard to say. Yeah, I'm getting a message, before the fires, I felt like we're going to go through a lot of tests, you know, the fires in California. I just felt like we're going to go through a lot of shit, and then the fire thing happens, like shit. So there's going to be growing pains in different areas. I can say this is obvious. I don't know if this is much of a prediction. We're just going to, you know, society is going to face a lot of its fears and decide if it wants to continue with those fears or release them. And releasing them might be more scary than just being afraid all the time. We haven't quite reached that juncture, but we're on our way towards it. It's like, you want to be scared of nothing anymore? No, not really. I don't want to be scared. I don't want to be scared of nothing anymore. So there's a lot of learning there. There's so much manipulation. Well, a lot of the souls here are bringing the manipulating beings here because they're just used to them. They know them from other lifetimes or whatever it is. They're just comfortable with it. There's different reason for it, and then it gets out of hand. And most of it's got out of hand. Some of these souls that change contracts that end up doing violence towards their family, or some of them are actually to do change the timeline to do something better in their life, but they get scared or something happens, and then they do something violent instead and turn around and become another person. There are situations like that. You wonder why things happen out of nowhere. They usually build up, but they can heal that darkness, but some can't. They don't know what newness is here, and it is extraterrestrial. And when they start reaching out to their extraterrestrial side, see, some people aren't ready to find that extraterrestrial side of themselves. They don't know what the hell it is, but it's a demon or something. It's not necessarily that. It's just the fear of the unknown, and then they connect more to their dark side and do something dark instead. It's all soul learning. Some are, yeah. It's, yeah, we're going to go through some major growing pains, seeing things differently from inside the box, outside the box, around the box. But the Yahyel release, it's, of course, we're not always meant to connect to our own darkness to release, but the other thing that I picked up on was it Wednesday is, now we're not always meant to see all this, but to connect to your darkness, release it, heal it, release it, you will open yourself up even more, because it takes time for that. but like your own fears. I mean, just of yourself. What do you see yourself like? What do you see your, what you've been through? Doesn't mean that you're a negative person, but maybe you went through a negative situation. What is your higher senses telling you? Because sometimes it's good to face that and look at it, heal it, and let it go. Whereas I do the holy thing, let it go, because it's like a thing like your crown chakra. I can say that's where I see it at. Of course, it's within your chakras, but some of the darkness, it's like you see the darkness and you release it. Whatever it might be, it's different for everyone. It doesn't mean you're a terrible person. We went through a situation, wherever it might be. You don't have to see everything. There's always layers of that. You're not always meant to see everything, but seeing some of that and just confronting it, looking at it, and releasing it will open up your chakra system so you can see more. Not necessarily of that, but see more of yourself. Bring more positive energies to yourself. And just, it takes a while getting used to all this. It is kind of weird talking about this, but those that are here are used to this, but those in the outside world are, what the hell are you talking about? The idea for all this is to heal the mysteries of the world. There's always going to be some kind of mystery, but do I like to heal the mystery of violence here? The mystery, heal traffic. California can use a lot of that right now, at least around LA. There's a lot of energies, and obviously there's a lot of vibrations in California that a lot of souls want to experience. You can call it an alien spaceport that's really gotten kind of out of hand. Because there is alien contact there all the time, actually. It's around the world, but California plays a big role in timeline, meaning a lot of new timelines are created in California. A lot of souls will be a part of that, because a lot of those timelines set the agenda for the planet. Because of Hollywood, there's politics there. There's a lot of military stuff there too. Just in Silicon Valley's there. They created a lot of new timelines. So it's just humanity. So a lot of souls will be involved with in some shape or form. Some need to be there, not everyone, but a lot of them they want to be where the action is. That's why the reason why it's so busy out there, at least in LA at least. It's not just because of Hollywood. It's a lot of other stuff that people don't quite understand. It's just, imagine if you connect to anybody out there, they want to be where the action is. They feel it's right to be out there. There's many other reasons for it. They're not really giving me the full detail of it, but Anunnaki there's just a little bit of everybody, obviously. But anyway, we'll just leave that be. Take a slight break. And yeah, well, what the took the fun out of that? Okay, this person, Elizabeth Warren, is going to run for president in 2020, and she won't win. And that's all I have to say about that. If Bloomberg was, I didn't realize Bloomberg president wants to run. I think he's going to be like 78 or something like that, so he's probably not going to run either. I give up. Yeah, well, if Bloomberg run, it'd be a corpse, so he's not going to win anyway. He can run all he wants. Just give some clarity on some of this, from what I'm picking up on. And oh, I didn't come prepared. I forgot one. 1 second, I did not come prepared. Forgot. Yeah, the energies here are very dense. I'm going to see, I think it's called Aquaman. I'm gonna try to see that tomorrow. Let's see what I get from it. No, if I make it there. That's nice. Okay. For those who are new to all this, is IvanToller.com. I have private sessions throughout the week. Scheduler, we have gift cards, you have learn how to channel, be weird. We also have better channelers and healers. I'm on another page. I have Google Hangout, Zoom, and channeling my phone. Jeez. About 7 days for delivery. I was going to be a little bit speedy up. I was going to speed up today, but I had to give myself a little bit of a break today. We have other channelers and healers. Same situation here. Other channelers and healers. I'm all over the place. We have the social network. Thank you for those who are posting. Much appreciated. And the rabbit stuff's coming, and it's gonna, yeah, it's supposed to change the world. We'll see, or just drive people crazy. Whatever it might be. There's something else I was gonna say about that, but I can't remember what it was. Okay, yeah, it came on a radio show also about, I have connections to Disney, and I have a lot of other connections that we'll go into next week with Neutron. Yeah, I've not really brought it. I brought it up here and there in the past. If you watch this, we probably don't remember, so I remember. So we'll dive into that a little bit further there. For Yahyel energies, we can basically see what else we can receive on that. Basically, there's a lot of Yahyel beings that are, I believe, more of a nuisance than any Nordic. Tall blondes are seen as the villain, but obviously there's a positive and not so positive to everything. But some of the Yahyel beings are not what they say. A lot of them are like used car salesmen put on this appearance. A lot of them are very spiritual put on this appearance. Some are very vicious and violent. They don't get what they want. Is from what I gathered from it. So, and they do mess with timelines. They're very powerful beings, and they're not mentioned very often. The reason I'm bringing it up because they're not mentioned very often, or at all for that matter. So, if somebody's got to do it and get all the stuff thrown out, I've mentioned a few lines recently, and this is kind of what inspired the release. Yahyel release. The reptilian release. Well, this will slowly, whatever needs to come through. Arcturian release, there's some there. Releasing the negative forces that have been causing difficulties here. It's like I said, you connect to the dark, you heal it, release it, you open up your chakras, and you go to the. I keep pointing up because that's what I keep feeling. Just go with it. But yeah, it's like people want to realize what kind of blockages I need to release. Not always easy, obviously. Not always meant to do it. It's very agonizing being here. Of course, if you're, this came up in the radio show too. If you live the perfect life, you might get bored of it. Even in the higher realms, you get bored. So you come here. Well, more power to you. So. Well, that's another reason why a lot of souls embrace this planet, is because, for them it's got everything. It's got I mean, if you're living a decent life, yeah, you're going to absorb this place. But then again, if you're, of course, it's your definition of decent. It's like, is that living the middle class life and get to go see a movie, go to this, and have family, have a house, or is it just being a psycho? So it's on your definition of this world's got everything, doesn't it? So I know I come from a world that does not have any of this. It might be boring, but at least it doesn't have. This world does have it can get out of hand at times, as you can see. But obviously, a lot of souls have made this world work for them. So reincarnating here over and over is not a problem, and it's so easy to be pulled into this cycle because the spirit world is not doing it for them anymore. Yeah, sort of, but they like it here better because they can grow. I'm not sure how much they do grow, but they might in certain areas. But they just get so used to this cycle. It's like it has everything that they need. This world's been long enough where it has a lot of the same souls incarnating over and over. And it's not always the souls that have been born into this planet, because there's a lot of them been born. A lot of them are kind of stuck here. Not all of them. A lot of them just say, hell no. I haven't been created with that planet. It's like, oh, no thanks. Especially if you're born around the Dark Ages. How many of them are still here? I can't imagine there's a lot of those still here. So if you're created as planet during the Dark Ages, of course this is technically another version of it. But a lot of souls have they've been all around the universe, they come here, it's like, oh, we can make this work. I don't know what's up with that, but Well, yeah, like I said, if you live in the middle class area or even maybe in the poor classes in some areas, some incarnate in the poor regions of this world to make them not want to be here anymore. So that's another reason for it, right? Because you've been here so many times and you're having trouble leaving, you incarnate a crappy life, and usually one does it. I think one is enough. Two, you're really, yeah, it keeps getting out of focus. So I'm going through this, but let's see if I can fix it. But at least that's what I'm picking up on as we're connecting. Configure. Come on. Work with me. Now. There you go. Finally figure out how to fix that. I think I create a whole bunch of this. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff around here. There's a lot of stuff that's making it kind of thick for me to even connect with anything. It's heavy. It's been heavy ever since the new timeline. I was a little bit sick for the past 2 weeks. I had some kind of something. And the past 2 weeks have not been the easiest, actually. At least on the weekends, like during Christmas and during the New Year. Maybe might have to do with the timeline shift. Luckily, I didn't get sick this time. For the past 2 years, ever since I've been doing it, I've been getting sick. So this is knock on wood, not sick. Yeah. While last. What happened last year, what I felt is I went into, I think I mentioned this earlier, but I went into astral and I saw something and it caused me to get sick, and now I'm living what I saw. Something now. I know it sounds weird, but what I saw in the past is what I'm living now. Something around those lines. Alright, well, yeah, let's see, the Yahyel energies basically are, a lot of those are deceiving vibrations. They don't like to be spoken about, heard about. Some of them are Yahyel aliens, some of them are basically some of the Yahyel feel like they're an elite class system. Meaning they think they know it all. And there are groups like that here. Well, I'm not going into that detail. But not to say all Yahyel are like that, but there are some that are. They're very deceiving. They have all the bells and whistles of attractiveness, and they're just vicious beings. They're I don't believe they're connected to Bashar. Some of them probably are. They're connected to different groups, but they're not mentioned very often. And apparently I've been colliding with them a lot. That's another reason why I have this heaviness sometimes. I'm just worn out. It's because the stuff I'm connecting to. I don't always know what the hell I'm connecting to. But to have this type of download, even the Orions, I believe the Orions are part of our government. Not necessarily in a negative way. Obviously there is a negative side to it, but I believe there's also, I believe the Orions made sure that they incarnated through here to keep us sustained, to make ourselves not destroy ourselves. There is also connections to like the atomic bomb. And those are beings that incarnated here from other alien places. But realize also there are other alien beings that cause us to give us no choice to do it, and that is connected to Japan. Eventually that was started to open up too of why Japan triggered an atomic bomb, because without that we wouldn't have had an atomic bomb. Of course the Nazis are working on it, but they were pretty much well defeated, or however you want to word that. Fake defeated, basically. That phase was defeated, but it was successful, as you can see. They have not really gone very far, at least in public record, at least what we know publicly. Well, they're probably in the CIA. I don't think that's public. And probably, I think a lot of them are in the CIA, actually. At least were. I don't think they're alive anymore, but you're not going to find that anywhere. Probably not. I mean, this is what stuff that you know, which is very small compared to what's out there. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't put that. I guess some of this stuff with the Nazis and NASA they had to put out there. They had to, you know, just put the energy out there, just to give you a hint. Of course, you know, at the time, no one really looks at this stuff. So, 30 years later, it's a different story. One moment. Where am I going with all this? Yeah, they're not giving me any details of it yet. The Japanese, of course, others have connected to a different, versions of what happened. The Japanese attacking the way they did. There's a lot of alien races that are involved with basically they're not telling me anything right now fully of it, but the atomic bomb was not, it was, obviously that's been done on other worlds, it's been done on our world in the past, and there's a lot of layers to why that occurred. It's not always what is being, there's different versions of it, let's put it that way. Some say the Arcturians wanted to see what we would do, what would happen. There's a lot more to it than that. There is a lot more to it than that. Let's see if I can pick up on anything tonight or tomorrow. They're not telling me anything right now. It's probably a bad time for it right now. But they're going to... a lot of the Japanese, it's a lot of it's... obviously, I'm not the only one that's connected to this stuff, but... they're not telling me anything. I'll try to continue that tomorrow. Or down the road. Yeah, that's really heavily left after stuff, basically. Well, you can say that there was a German influence in the Japanese energy. I mean, the Germans and the Japanese are working together secretly, and they're kind of causing, they pretty much want to destroy the world. They didn't care if they lived or not. They were really in an agenda to massively destroy the planet any way they can. Now, the atomic bomb, I believe the Japs had some idea about it. It was not... I don't know what history has, but I believe they had some idea. I don't think they would do it, but they had some kind of knowledge of it. Yeah, because there's German connections to Japan. I believe the Germans went to the Japanese and kind of helped that effort out. It's there somewhere. It's there. To attack the Americans and take out America eventually. That was the plan. To use the Japanese to go after America, why the Germans go after Europe. That's what I'm getting. So China was on the list too, but I'm not sure where that went to. I don't think that was on the list down the road. America was the main target for the Japs, though. That was the main target for them. So it made sense why the bomb was dropped on them, because there was many other layers that were going to go towards backup plans. That one was very hard to shut down. Germany was easy to shut down. You can tell Japs were not easy to shut down. Because they were like, once you start that fire, putting it out is almost impossible. Because there's a lot of the Japanese are on drugs, on some kind of psychoticness. Yeah, they're definitely... it's kind of like the comics in some ways. They're being genetically altered. It feels like that. There was some kind of genetic works, and that was not just the Germans doing it, it was the Japanese having it done too. Somewhere it was there, some kind of chemical imbalance was used on the pilots, mostly the pilots and other forces. So, and you can say some of that went into North Korea down the road. Basically thinking kind of psychoticness. So it's whatever drug that was given to the Japs in the past was given to North Koreans. That went into the dictators. The dictator of North Korea had the same thing. Basically kind of like a psychotic way of looking at the world, whatever it might be. There was some of it, but it kind of triggered during the Korean War, stuff like that. Something around those lines. So that's what I'm getting right at the moment. What does this have to do about the Yahyel? Probably nothing. Well, the Yahyel are similar to the Japanese in a lot of ways. That's for kamikaze energies. Suicide energies. The Yahyel are very similar to that. Once again, I'm talking about the villainous Yahyel, not all of them. A lot of the positive ones are very positive. They just want to love everybody. But the other ones are not so much like that, and that's why I'm bringing it up, because it's not mentioned. Some of them are, suicidal type of beings that would just do everything for self-destruction. For others, they're known to blame others for what they did too. That's what some of the, of course, a lot of the advanced beings are a pain in the ass are doing that. So, When I connect to Yahyel, I do see a lot of religious leaders there. Religion and spiritual. Not so much Buddhist, but your alternative spiritual energies, a lot of Yahyel energies. That doesn't always mean for the bad. There's a lot of positive there, but once again, some can get easily corrupted through ego, think they know everything, and it really can be very vicious, but very, very manipulative. So that's why I bring it up here. For some that are in religious groups, like David Koresh had some of it. Yep. David Koresh. So obviously had other energies, but if you want an example of what the are capable of, there's one version of it. You can say some of it's in the Mormons, but not so much. But definitely David Koresh is a perfect example of that. If you're not aware of David Koresh, it was Waco, Texas. I forgot Branch Davidian, if I remember that right. So, give you kind of a reason to bring this stuff up is because it's time to awaken the planet. So, like I said, this is stuff that's not mentioned. That's the only reason why I'm going to this. Like I said, the positive Yahyel are very helpful, very positive, very heartwarming energies, but some of them can be very vicious, and the vicious energies needs to be looked at, healed, and avoided. Because apparently there are some here that are in an alternative reality that aren't getting anywhere here, but in another world are, and they're manipulating the hell out of everyone right now. So, yikes. There's reptilian worlds I've been connected to also, and I'll go into that some other time. Alright, Johnny Carson has some Yahyel energies, so it's not. So for Johnny Carson, yeah, he has a lot of. Now there's a lot of positive there, but also he's like a vicious cycle to himself. It's like self-destructive. I think he had like a kind of like a mean streak too. I'm not sure what they're not telling me, but yeah, Johnny Carson has a lot of Yahyel energies too, to give you an idea. There's a lot of positive vibrations. Nobody's perfect. Yeah, I definitely see that with him. So, I'm not sure yet, because there's another side to him that, he's like probably the best talk show host ever. At least nighttime, probably the best. Like, the golden age, definitely. But there's definitely a vicious side of him that, I guess it just entered darkness. He didn't know how to filter it. So he smoked a lot, and I think he was kind of overweight too. He's just kind of like in a self-destructive path. He had everything going for him. I think so. Maybe his marriage kind of died out, but I think he got married again or something like that. I don't remember the story of it, but he just didn't know how to filter his darkness. And that's what happened with that. So nobody's perfect, obviously. But if anybody has any entertainment connection, it is him. Jeez. So talk about he grew up in the golden age, and I think all talk show hosts look at Johnny Carson as like a god, basically. I just know how to do it. So, oh man, the talk show host we have right now for late night. Jeez, talking about the bottom of the barrel we have. So, oh well. So, all right, that's it for tonight. Is there any other beings? Kind of give myself a little bit of break for channeling. Just believe in yourselves. You're opening up new transition crystalline energies of connecting to your higher selves. You're going to see yourselves differently if you wish to do so. Yes, the new timelines are coming in, so basically you can unravel your reality, basically. Everyone has the ability of looking at things differently. Just what is your version of the world? What do you see, like your family, entertainment, music, whatever it is? Prince comes up. What do you feel these energies... where do you think these beings came from? What is your take on it? This is how you open yourself up. You don't have to do it all the time or every day, but this is how you go inward and outward. You're going through yourself and looking at the world differently. It's like you're going through your higher self and looking at the world differently and decoding your reality. Realize the way you're looking at this will eventually... everyone is going to start to look at the world differently. You're just going to start to there's other layers of reality that, everything has an angel, a galactic point of view, such as when women are having children, you'll be able to connect to your child before it's born, even see past lives of your child, connect to your higher self of your child before the child's born, know how many children you're capable of having, and even understand your more dietary needs, what you need. A lot of women are going to go more towards the bathtub, to have a child in water. I just say bathtub, I don't know how to pronounce that, but have whatever word that is to do the pregnancy in water, because I just feel it's better. More of those type of, the hospital is going to eventually look down upon, because alternative energy is going to start increasing. It's going to take time. It's not going to be the easiest. It's just more angelic energies are going to come in. Hospitals are going, you can say hospitals currently here are going to be healed and just going to have more crystals in them, more metaphysical energies, little by little. It's kind of like, or bring your crystal with you if you go into one of these places, because there's a lot of shitty stuff there. Yeah, it's just over time it will, humans are going to start looking at things differently, because hospitals themselves are going to eventually transform to like a crystal-like energy. I mean, you'll have crystal energies, like stuff like this everywhere, and it just feel less hollow and more welcoming, because you're there to be healed. But it'd be like more, call it a healing center than a hospital. Remove that. Words are going to be changed eventually. And this takes time. It's not something, it's going to take a lot of time, but as more humans are connected to their alien selves, the vibration is going to get stronger and stronger here. But it's all, free will, though, of course. And this is when your aliens come through. Like I said, you're going to resurrect the alien within you. You won't necessarily need, aliens are assisting, but doesn't mean you have to really see them. Some might, because your frequency is heightened so much, you just see them so easily, it's not a big deal. It's like, oh, there you are. So that's really where we're heading. Yeah, because it's just as you gotta give yourself time. People want to say, I want my aliens now. You gotta give it time. It's like everyone has lessons you gotta release and learn, or whatever it might be. Because when we look at this reality, it's like it was hard, but we needed it, and living it is like what we doing here. But we need it for it's a challenge. There's many different reasons behind it. We have food, fast food. It's like you can't have fast food healthy, but we have McDonald's instead. You can say McDonald's is there to slow down reality, yes, manipulate it, but it's once again another challenge. Think about that place becoming more healthy over time. It sort of is, but it's kind of, the reason I'm bringing it up, because there's so many of them around, and it's like that in religion. It's a challenge to shift that eventually it'll just shift that, because people will just get sick of it, so I'll have to adapt. It's already seeing it adapting right now. So like McDonald's is a good example if you pay attention to it. It's been adapting to people's tastes recently, because it's been, nobody cares. It's all, I want to go into that, but the rest of reality, this is how the world's going to eventually adapt to, slowly. It's already adapting to gender neutral, and it's showing signs of that. So, a lot of people are doing gender neutral because they're doing a reset of themselves. They're just kind of sick of being their own. It's like, and that's very alien of them to do that. It's like, in other realities, you can just take off all the, gender, all the, your gender body parts and reattach new ones if you want. We're not there yet, but eventually it will be. How many times I want to say that? Shit. YouTube censorship, knock on wood. But down the road, it's just a gender reset. It's just like it's very natural for souls to incarnate as one gender and then want to be another one. Actually, want to do something different. It's not easy here, but then again, nothing is. Eventually it will be. It just takes time. We're just basically, those souls that do that are usually not here to cause any difficulties. They just don't want to be the gender that they grew up in, that's all. And a lot of people of the old realities have difficulty with that because they're the old energies, no fun at all. Just, oh well, do whatever. It's old programming. Eventually that's going to phase itself out because it's just people are going to want something different. I mean, they're tired of the violence of this world and the fear. And a lot of those that are having difficulties with gender neutral should be able to do whatever you want, gender wise. If you want to be a male, a female, whatever, who cares? The others that have a problem with, a lot of them have guns at home. Not all of them, but some of them do. Very aggressive energies, use of the old world. So this is the challenge of connecting more to your alien self. Is you're in the Wild West, so it's to forgive and move on. Yeah, it's just not easy. As the world becomes more alien, it might get more violent before it gets more peaceful. I don't want it to turn into that, but in some areas it might. In some ways, that's to speed things up. But at least they're connected to their alien self, their true self, basically. I call it aliens, I gotta call it something. Whatever you want to call it, but you're connected to your natural self, your natural origins, which might be Orion, Syrian, whatever it might be. And just like you're just bringing more of those energies into this reality, and many are not agreeing with it. So yeah, so as this stuff really starts to increase, it's already a pain in the ass as it is. And then when it starts going into the mainstream, it's really gonna be a pain. Jeez. Oh well, not to worry about it. But it's hard growing up. So yeah, it's just that's why a lot of people are secret of this stuff. Quite understand it, because it's very understood. I mean, I don't go around telling people this stuff. I think I'm crazy. Here I do, but that's about it. Yeah, because it just people aren't just you don't want to get people all pissed off. That's what I say, Andy. But as people awaken, it's just gonna hard. It sucks, but. Either way, Earth is transitioning for sure. So that's all. Yeah, I feel it. 2020 is definitely a year of spiritual, just awakeness, just advancement. We're building up to it. 2020, just the numbers themselves, the energies around it, it's just a powerful. It's just a powerful year. Not sure what's going to happen that year, but with this year going into next year, I know we just started this year. This one's going to be a time of transition of some kind. We just have to wait and see. So it's definitely going to help humanity, find its new identity, the new era, new identities, definitely. So anybody, they're all speaking through me, so. I'll try to do a regular channeling tomorrow if I have any energy. So I'm technically channeling right now, just not a being, but they're all coming through me anyway. The Orion beings definitely work through our government systems. They're here to heal it. There are a lot of Saturn beings are causing a lot of negative energies here, so there's a little bit of back and forth going on, of course, but more of that will be cleared over time. Alright, we'll just leave you with that. Alright, blessings everyone. Take care. Have a great night.